Greetings! So in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at this all-inclusive palette from MEEDEN. So it has a bunch of stuff in it, but first, let's unwrap it. Alright, so just the empty box, the info on it. So these are non-toxic. It says premium vibrant colors for beginner and artist, foldable and portable. You get 1 watercolor paintbrush, 1 sketching pencil, 2 art sponges, 1 eraser, 1 built-in palette, and 2 watercolor swatch sheets. So I'm glad there are watercolor swatch sheets because that would be a lot of work to prepare for 96 colors. So you get 48 regular colors, 30 metallic colors, 12 macaron colors. So I think these are tints or what people call pastel colors, but they're colors mixed in with white. And then you also get 6 fluorescent colors. This is all the 96 colors included, so there's a lot of them. And then we get the box. It is hefty. This is heavy. It's a really compact box. It's kind of an off-white plastic color, has the MEEDEN branding and kind of a circular pattern on it. And then you open it, and you can really feel that each half of this palette is heavy. All right, so first thing you get here is that these are the swatch cards. They look really interesting. There's like a plastic insert in there, so I'm gonna have to look into this. Then you have all the colors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here are the metallic colors. Then you get the 6 fluorescent colors, and you get the 12 what they call macaron color, but basically tints. And then on this other side, oh, also 1 sponge here. On this other side, oh wow. So you get a fold out palette. It appears like it could be removed, but anyway, I'll fiddle with that later. And then you get, again, all the regular colors. So they're all multiples of 6 because they come in these kind of cluster of paint that are a bit difficult to take out. But anyway, okay, so I'll play with this stuff later. You get the eraser here. You get the other sponge, a brush. No sizing on the brush, but it seems to be a nice size. You get a pencil that is not yet sharpened. And at first glance, one thing that I noticed that is quite interesting is that these are half-pan size. Usually when you get, these plastic sets with a lot of colors, they are a bit smaller and they don't come in pans. They are just inserted in a plastic tray. I will swatch everything, I will paint with these, and I'll come back with my impressions. So see ya in a bit. And I'm back with this palette, my swatches, my painting, and my impressions. So let's get started on all of that. If you remember, the set came with swatch cards. That's one of them. That's the second one. This is the 48 regular colors. With a range of 48 colors, of course, there's a lot of nice variants in there. Very interesting range of colors available for painting. I think this is really quite nice. I like it. The paints behaved well on this paper. There is no pigment info for this set, but just in terms of performance and color range, I think this is quite good. And then on the second chart, you get all the metallics. Then you get what they call macaron colors, and then the 6 fluorescent colors. Of course, these will react under UV light. They are not light fast. Aside from the fluorescent colors, there's this metallic bubble gum that reacted just a little bit under the UV light. And in the regular range, there's a few colors that reacted, the pinks and the deep magenta, but that's it. The set also came with these inserts, which I think are really nice. So you get 2 of them. One goes over the metallic colors and the FX colors and is, made to fit on the swatch card as well, so you get the full reference of everything. And then this one goes for the other colors, and then you can use these inside the palette. So let's check the palette. I did not use the pencil or the eraser that came with this set, but I used the palette and the brush. The palette is plastic, as you can obviously see. It is a slightly off-white color. The mixing palette here is detachable. You just have to put it upright, like 90 degree with the palette, and then you can lift it. And to put it back in, it's just reverse. So 90 degree, you push it down, and then you can open it. These inserts, they fit nicely on top of the paints. And then you can also have the swatch on top. And same with this side. I thought this was a bit tricky because it's quite a heavy palette. Thankfully, the pans are, nicely secure, but I always feel a bit nervous when folding this part over, because technically this part is the top of the palette. So it's kind of easier to fold over the mixing tray and then fold that part back over the top of the palette. And once it's closed, then you can sort of flip it the right side up. You got to be careful when you open it because you kind of have to do the reverse. So kind of open it with the top down and the bottom up, and then try to get in there and hold just for a bit more security. Everything seems to be held in place really well, but you just want to be safe, It's nice and compact. There's 96 colors in there. That's quite something. And incidentally, let's say you get a palette like this one and you use up the paints. Then you have a portable plastic palette where you can put 96 of your own colors in there. That's impressive. That's a really nice, compact, smooth. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm opening it just to show you. Nothing flipped, nothing, fell down, but it's still kind of stressful. But if you look at this plastic, it mixed really well on the plastic. Almost no beading at all. And when I get a bit of this dry out effect, it's mostly not because it's beading, it's mostly because my wash was dry. There wasn't enough paint to make a puddle, if that makes sense. So yeah, you can fill this up with your own colors once you're done. And that represents a lot of paints in a very nice palette, in my opinion. I quite like that this is removable. Like when I had to set it up for painting, I set it up with the mixing palette here instead of to the side, just because of the way my workspace is set up. The brush that came with the set is also quite nice. There is no size on it, but it's a nice, seemingly well-made brush, synthetic fibers, a round, feels like a size 6. It's not a tiny brush, but it's not too big either. And it worked really well. I did a painting to try out these paints. This is what I did. So yeah, I got inspired by the season and I wanted to make something a bit Christmassy, which I felt would also give me a good reason to use a lot of the shimmery colors. So I hope it will be somewhat visible at an angle, but I used a few of them. I used some in the tinsel garland, I used some on the stars, on the tree, on the gifts, on the decorations. There's only like the backdrop, the wall, the floor, and the cats that don't have any sparkly to them. But for everything else, I tried to add a bit of it. I think it's fun. And overall, I think it's a really nice set. I like the range of color. I like that it has so many colors because you can really paint your illustration the way you want it. And I think it's fun that there's a lot of special effect paints included in the set. That's pretty neat too. The colors worked well. I think this looks nice. The only possible flaw that these paints have is the lack of pigment info, again, because if you want to use these in a professional setting for a painting that will go on a wall somewhere, it's a bit trickier to figure out what to do. But if you do illustration and then you scan the illustrations or you keep them in a sketchbook, this is a really perfect set for that. Lots of color, lots of variety. The paints are easy to work with, they're easy to re-wet. You got FX paints if you need them. So to sum it up, do I recommend this set? I think I do. Of course, make sure it is the right set for you. But I think it's a really fun set. The colors are nice. You got a lot of them. The box itself is well made. And it's just a very convenient set. It's very portable, though heavy. And really, its only flaw to me is the lack of pigment info. That's the only thing. But otherwise, I like the colors. I think they worked out well. I love having the FX paints included. I love having the future prospect of refilling this set with other paints. And I think overall, it's a really nice palette. It would make a lovely gift. I really can't think of any person who wouldn't enjoy getting this, especially if they are more of a beginner or hobbyist. This is fun in a palette, in my opinion. I would love to read your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. Would you enjoy having a palette like this one? Let me know. And also, thank you, MEEDEN, for sending me this paint set to try out. I had a really fun time with these. I think they're awesome. And I'm looking forward to painting with them again. Thank you so much for watching. See ya in the next one. Bye bye.